let's go back to the first one because it's an oldie but a goodie. Why are we here today? Why are we here today?
I'd have to welcome everybody, but before I do that, I just want to really put some effort into saying that the Victorian Trades Hall Council have been very supportive of the union move in this matter, and as to the Trades and Labour Councils, Geelong, Ballarat, Bendigo, the Gippsland. So I'd just like to take the opportunity to make mention to all of those Trades and Labour Councils and Trades Halls. And then finally, obviously, the other major impact is thanking the other unions that have been involved, the secretaries of those unions. But the reality is that when I stand up here, and this is now probably the fourth time that I've been able to do it, really the credit should go to you, the members, and obviously not just members of our unions, but members generally of all unions to come out and support this historic occasion. Most of all, I congratulate you and all of yourselves because we're going to keep continuing to fight on. So thank you very much.
I'd now like to introduce Vicky Robinson. Vicky is a student at VU.
Sitting on my class on Monday morning, I turned around and noticed that there was a ratio of 14 women to 1 man. I believe a more equitable pay and working conditions would see a better gender balance in the industry. My personal experience has meant that I have been a client of the industry. And I've since learned that some of the people who were trying to help me out were eligible for the same benefits they were trying to get me on. I believe this is a representation of how undervalued the industry is. I think with better pay and working conditions would give us more value. Okay, stop taking advantage of people that care and pay us fair.
Linda White is from the National Office of the ASU and has been the person coordinating the Equal Pay case. Please welcome Linda.
Thanks very much. Can I acknowledge the traditional owners of the land? It's my job to give you a quick overview of where the Equal Pay case is up to, and also to pay tribute to some very important people. We all know that the 16th of May was a great and historic day for equal pay. It was the day of the decision in the first equal pay case under the Fair Work Act. And in fact, the first case, our case, is the first in the federal system to acknowledge that there is a pay gap for women. Our decision confirms that in the SAC sector, gender is an important factor in the pay gap, and that Fair Work Australia has, for that reason, said that it has to be fixed. What that means is we've won the law, but now we have to win the money. So clearly, it is show us the money time. In every state and territory, frontline union members put their hands up and told their stories to the tribunal. They brought the case to life, the members of the tribunal who had never seen the day-to-day work that our members perform. These people are our equal pay heroes. And it's my great privilege to acknowledge our Victorian heroes here today from the ASU. These are the people who, like Zelda, will go down in history in the long fight for equal pay. As I call their names, I ask them to come forward. These are our ASU witnesses, our equal pay heroes. Alison Barton, Kathy Lambert, Pia Shavira, Jane Devlin, Kathy Hutchinson, Val Marshall, Sue McDonough, Joyce Stevens, Lawyer Virani, Matilda Langley. 3 cheers for them! Yes! Aye! Yes! Aye! Yes! Aye! I also want to acknowledge a number of employers and their staff who opened up their workplaces for worksite visits in Victoria, who actually showed the day-to-day reality that you all face. I want to acknowledge the Moreland Community Legal Centre, Melbourne City Mission in Thornbury, Thomastown, the North East Housing in Preston, and Mind Australia in Albert Park. And finally, I also acknowledge the City of Yarra Youth and Family Services and the City of Garrett, who also opened their doors for the tribunal to show what the real money should be paid.
It is an indictment of our society that 42 years after Zelda took her historic stance, that we are having to take to the streets again today to ask for equal pay, fair pay for a fair day's work. Absolute shame. I also want to pay acknowledgement to people from the AU who've been involved as witnesses, and also the employers who've allowed worksite visits. Witnesses first, Brian Henderson, Branch Secretary of the AU. Robin Gray from Inclusions Melbourne. And as a sad indication, two other witnesses I will acknowledge, Jess Stanton, formerly the NEMDA Association, and Carmel Coogan, formerly of Distinctive Options, sadly could just not afford to stay the distance to stay in the sector and have left the sector. Can I also acknowledge a couple of the employers whose opened their worksites up to visits by the Fair Work Australia that really do give life to the work and the importance of the work that we do. The NEMDA Association in Doncaster and McCallum Disability Services in Ballarat.
Thank you all for being here. Even though we might get a bit of rain today, it will not dampen the fight for equal pay. ASU would like to thank our members and supporters who also provided the witness statements. As you've heard, a whole range of people were absolutely crucial to the case that was put before Fair Work Australia. I'd like to acknowledge Wendy Bray from Kirinari Disability Services in Wodonga, Joe Colkins from Melbourne City Mission, and Mark Schaefers from Melbourne City Mission, and Paul Corneliuson from the Department of Human Services, who works in the CRU in the northwestern metropolitan Melbourne. We had fantastic support from our members and supporters during the site visits by the full bench. We had visits to Melbourne City Mission and also to McCallum Disability Services up in Ballarat. I have to say that our members who work in disability services amazed Fair Work during these visits. Fair Work was really impressed by the work that all SACS and disability support workers do. But the fight's not over. As the sign up here says, we're still fighting for the pay. We've won the principle, but we have to keep fighting for the money. So, keep it up. Thanks for being here today. It's fantastic to see so many people. We have to make Ted Value and Julia Gillard pay up the money. We need the equal pay. Thank you.
On behalf of the workers in the sector, I'd like to thank Zelda for inspiring us in our fight for equal pay. And thanks Vicky for speaking today, and I hope that you and your friends will see a future working in this sector after we win this fight. Thanks to all of those who gave witness statements, you've brought us at least one step closer to our goal. If you're a union member, raise your hand. Thank you for your decision to join the union. Every poster, every flyer, every whistle and every rally has been paid for by you, the union members. Every word written and spoken by our lawyers at the Fair Work Australia hearings have been paid for by you, the union members. If you're not in the union, what are you waiting for? We all know that although we've won round one, this fight for respect, better wages and conditions will not be over for some time yet. Come and join those of us already in the union, because we're making history.
So why are we here today?
pay equity. Well, this is a world that I'm committed to changing, and we should all make that commitment here today. Well, the message we want the government to hear today is that we are no longer the pushovers